Can you tell us your name and where you grew up?
My name is Mike Norice. I grew up in Watts, California. I actually grew up in three places. You want me to name them? Watts, Fresno, and South Central LA.
What was your day-to-day life like as a teen?
As a teen,
Mhm.
as a teenager, I was like 1 foot in to being on the streets, knucklehead, like graffiti, doing crazy stuff, my peers. And then the other foot was, being focused on my art and just doing like what I do now and today, and just knew I always knew that art was gonna be something in my future. So I didn't go too deep into craziness, you know what I'm saying? But that was what I did like every day.
What made you become an artist?
I was born an artist, so nothing made me. I guess God made me to be an artist. So I was born this way, like legit artist. Since I was walking, talking, breathing, I've been an artist. So I, as far as I know, to be alive, I've been drawing.
Can you tell us your earliest memories of drawing and what did
My
you draw?
my earliest memories of drawing, I was 5 years old in kindergarten, drawing the drawing for my class, and my teacher would have me draw all the different like the different things for the month, the themes that they would put on the wall. I would always draw that, like literally 5 years old doing that.
Can you tell us about your store on Melrose?
Yeah, my store on Melrose, that was my child. Like Break Your Neck Urban Customs. You can still Google Break Your Neck Urban Customs. You're gonna find like we made history on Melrose. We would have fashion shows on Melrose, like legit on the street, outside, red carpet type. For those no, I was on Melrose from 2007 to 2020, and we did everything. All custom clothing, custom shoes. It was just really ahead of its time, but it was a good time. That was the store on Melrose, Breaking Neck Urban Customs.
What were your first impressions of Compton before coming here?
I was coming to Compton like all my life. I'm from Watts, so Compton is. We would come to Compton to go. Like my grandmother stayed in Carson, so we would always go through Compton to go to Carson. So I didn't, as like 5, 6 years old, you don't really know what is the different cities and different borders and stuff like that. So it was just, it was part of home to me because it was right next door to Watts, 113th Street. It's not that far. Like Compton's home.
What's the biggest difference between Watts and Compton?
Uh, that's a good question. To me, the only biggest difference between Watts and Compton is the 105 freeway. That's it. One's on the south side and one's on the north side, but there's not much of a difference. Compton has both cities are very close knit families. You talk to one person, they're like third, fourth generation. Their grandmother grew up in both cities, and it's just all love. Like you get the best love in both cities, I would say. So I wouldn't want to say like there's a difference. Like that's why I just say it's like the only difference is one's north of the 105, one's south of the 105.
Can you share a moment when you felt especially welcome or connected to the Compton community?
Um, I have. You want me to wait for this car? Okay. I have always felt connected to the Compton community, but I just recently I got the best embrace by the Compton community once I did the Kendrick Lamar mural. That's when it was just like it went to a whole nother level. But I always felt love in Compton. I have a lot of people out here in Compton with other murals I've done. I've gotten awards from the mayor. I mess with councilmen out here. Different. Compton is like as family, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been love out here in Compton.
Can you describe your style?
My style is very street with substance. But I'm my art is very versatile, so I can do stuff like bold letters and very simple and easy, but I can also paint a portrait very intricate and looks like a photograph. So, but my style is very, I would say, very detail oriented.
How did the opportunity to paint the Not Like Us mural at Tim's come about?
The mural from the Not Like Us at Tams came about by my boy Boomer the Clown. Shout out to Boomer. He just hit me up because he was working with the Kendrick team after the video, and they needed a photo op here at the Tams to just recognize that this was the place, the location, because there's many. For those that don't know, there's about 100 Tams all over LA. So this was the one that you recognize that the Kendrick did. That's how everything came about.
How did you feel when you got that call?
I felt honored that I got that call because he could have really called anybody. He's real connected. So, but that's my boy. That's what homies do. As your network, you want to kind of reach out to the people that can accomplish something at a good standard. Like I feel that I give high quality art no matter what I'm doing. So I felt real good when I got that call.
Can you describe the process?
The process was I started with rolling the wall white. Then I did a projection of the letters in two parts because it curves around. So I had to do two different parts. Then for Kendrick's face, I did what is called a doodle grid. And you guys could look that up on the doodle grid process. But I did the doodle grid and then I sketched his face and then I painted it. Real simple. 2 days, 2 long days, but it took 2 days.
That's quick though. 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
Fast worker.
Yeah.
What do you hope students and the community members feel when they see the mural?
When students especially see the mural, I want them to see the vision of you can do whatever you want to do, and just to know that putting your skill um to action, I would say, or keeping your dreams to action, putting them together, you can accomplish anything in life. So yeah.
Okay. How did you feel when you got the call that the mural had been vandalized?
So I felt like any of my murals, they've sometimes they get vandalized, but this one really hit my heart because it didn't mean anything. So I couldn't really tie it to anybody. Like sometimes, 9 times out of 10 with graffiti, you're getting like a hood or you're getting somebody writing their name. This one was literally scribbles. So I couldn't really say like, okay, now I got my eye on this person. But I fixed it. It was only scribbled on for like 2 days and I fixed it. But I felt it was bittersweet because first I was hurt, but once I filmed it after getting vandalized, it influenced whacked out murals. So, if it didn't get wrote on, he probably wouldn't have wrote that song. And I like that song. So
Really?
it,
Thank you for
it all
that.
worked out.
Do you have a favorite mural that you've done?
No, I have some favorites, but my murals are like children. They all place different parts of my heart. So I don't really have a one favorite mural.
How many do you have so far?
Nationwide,
Like an estimate?
I don't know, maybe like 50.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I might have around 50 murals.
That's good. Okay. What's something you learned about yourself throughout your art journey?
One of the things that I learned about myself with every project, especially my art journey, is that I always push myself to a limit. So I learn something new within each project. So I'm currently on a project literally right now, and I'm trying to better even what I did at Kendrick's project. I'm trying to better myself. So every project just keeps getting better and better.
Was there ever a moment when you felt like giving up, and what kept you going?
Yeah, like shoot, I don't try, but I think about giving up all the time. you get discouraged when stuff doesn't go your way, and the devil's in your ear, like literally talk. Oh, you don't need to be doing that. You can be doing this, and but it's just what keeps me going is just my family, my children, my wife, God, just hearing my grandmother's prayers of not giving up. Like, you just got to keep going. And plus, at this point, like I feel that I'm inspiration to other youth that look up to me. So if I give up, it'll really have a domino effect on others.
Who has inspired or influenced you the most?
That's a good question. Um, who has influenced me artistically?
Yeah. Or like just throughout life.
I don't know. Like I would say a lot of family members that influenced me the most. Like my grandmother, my mom. Those are two strong women that just raised me basically. But as far as like artistically, I look up to an artist named Kehinde Wiley. He's a really good artist that does portraits, focused on portraits. He's from LA too, and he's pretty much worldwide at this point. And I really look up to him, as far as like his journey and path in this art game. But I try to really stay in my own lane, to be honest with you, in art, do what makes sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
and not to copy anybody else's moves and stuff like that. That's why I like to do just stuff. All my moves are original that only I do.
What do you want the world to remember about your story?
I want the world to remember by my story that I'm really community based. Um, I try to stay humble and to just never give up. I never gave up. Like my story is just crazy, going from homeless, 113th Street, living in poverty, and just getting a good education, never really giving up on myself, and giving back to the same streets that I was homeless in. You know what I mean? Like I got a lot of meals in Watts. You know what I mean? Like I have a Starbucks that has a plaque of me on the wall in Watts, and that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Like it just really speaks volumes that you can really still give back to your community. I don't even have to do it, but it's something that I want to do because I know that once people start seeing my story, they can get inspiration and understand that they can do it too.
Any advice for other artists?
My advice for other artists is to stay true to yourself, be original, and never give up. Be consistent and always push yourself to go to the next level.
Any last remarks?
Um, Thank you for having me.